Today's WTF Wednesday. I have one.
You've thought of one.
I'm being organised. I'm looking down my list here and I've got one, which is what's the focus when you have misallocated priorities, by which I mean everything is top priority. Everything is more important than everything else. Have you ever had a situation where you have a project portfolio and you've got some stuff that's at priority 3, so lowish, some stuff that's at priority 2, and then some other stuff that's at priority 1, and then something else comes along that's so important you have to create priority level 0 so that it goes in at the top?
Yes.
I have.
I've also, as we know, when you create a form and you put, is it high, medium or low priority, everything goes in as high. So that was useful. But yes.
So the symptoms of having everything more important than everything else is that you end up with a highly stretched team that don't know what they're doing. They don't know where to turn. Yep. They've got too much stuff to do and they achieve
nothing. That's how you can recognize that that is where you are. Too much work in progress is the other thing.
Oh, yes. So what's the fix?
Get a new job. Hopefully, as an organisation, you have a business plan or a strategic plan or some semblance of that kind of document that you've all agreed on, that is understood and has been socialised across the business, that you can use as a reference to look at all of the work in progress or priorities that you have that are making your poor people run around overstretched, overworked, not living their best lives, that you can look at and say, what can we start to put in one pile of must? What can we start to put in another pile of should, but perhaps not must? And then the other pile of really nice to have, but actually isn't the very burning platform that it's turned into being regarded as. Just as a starting point to help with that discussion.
For me, it comes back to some of the things that we've talked about before, which is about taking the subjectivity out of the prioritization. And going back to your point about the form where you ask people submitting the ideas whether something's high priority, medium or low. I think the reason why people always will select high in that situation is because
it is to them.
To them, it is high priority. So in their world where they're aware of what's going on with just them and nothing else outside.
Or the pain they are feeling.
Yes, to them, it is important. It is high priority. It will be causing them pain and they want to get that thing sorted out. But in the context of the organisation as a whole, it may not be as important. So what you mentioned earlier was clear criteria for prioritization. So maybe we need some kind of intake process that says, for example, what kind of benefits does this thing have attached to it? What kind of risks does it have attached to it? How certain are we of the environment that we're operating in here? How many parts of the organization does it impact? What else is going on in that part of the organization? Are they having to absorb a lot of change at the moment? And is it linked to, is it a precursor to any of the other things that are being delivered at the moment? So for example, if you have some kind of very unsexy IT infrastructure project that's replacing a whole load of unglamorous kit that sits in a cupboard somewhere that no one ever sees. But if you don't replace that system, that hardware, then something else that you're trying to do that is vitally important will fail.
Will fail.
In that situation, what you have to do is give that enabling project
priority,
the same level of priority as you give the strategic thing that's doing the sexy, glamorous thing. Because if you don't do the enabler,
you don't get
sexy one is doomed.
Yes. Very much so.
There's quite sophisticated techniques for assessing priority and there's software tools out there on the market. But if you're new to it and if you've got nothing else in place, then trying to use some objective criteria to establish the relative priority of something across the entire organization versus that subjectivity of saying it hurts me, therefore I want it done, will give you
a good steer,
a lot of benefit.
Very good
it will
step.
help you. Yeah, it will help you a lot to improve the situation over what you've got
Yes.
currently.